You don't want map picks and bans in Valorant, and here's why. The most major problem is that we'd end up with people who are map mains. Every single competitive game they got into, they would do everything they can to get onto the one map that they've practiced so much and are super good at. You would have people who've gotten all the way up to Immortal by playing one map because they're able to ban other maps and pick that map. You'd have Ascent mains or Haven mains, just as right now you have like Neon mains or Brim mains or Jet mains or something like that. And just like how it's annoying when people fill and don't know how to play an agent, it'll be annoying when you get an Ascent main on Haven and they have no idea what to do on the map because it's an entirely different map. Now you may argue that this has like a whole other layer to the game where you're trying to pick the right map, ban maps that are popular and other people like or something like that. It might force you to learn every map because you're aware that people might pick that map or ban the map that you like, which could be good. And we've seen other games do stuff like this, right? It's not uncommon to see other games have map picks and bans in their competitive system, just like how in Rocket League you're able to favorite maps and then thumbs down maps if you don't want to play in that, even though how in Rocket League the map you're on has no competitive advantage or disadvantage for either side. The point is other games have done this in their competitive system. However, Valorant is a different thing. Like there's a reason that it hasn't happened yet, obviously. People would become map mains, it would not be fun, no one would enjoy it. Map bans are really good for the highest level of professional Valorant because that means that teams are able to study up on other teams, learn what maps they're good at and bad at, pick and ban those maps, you know? However, in competitive Valorant, that strategy just flies out the window because you're in a solo queue game with 5 people you've never met, or 4 people you've never met before, and the other team is 5 people who you've never met before, unless you're in like Radiant or something, but you're not in Radiant. And what if one map becomes super popular so that every game, every other map's getting banned, and that map specifically is being picked? Then we've got a problem, because you're never going to play on the other map. You'll be forced to play on that map forever just because it's popular and people like it. You'll end up like having never played a map that's less favored, like Fracture or Icebox or Breeze or something like that, and you'll spend a ton of time on like Ascent or Bind or Haven or maps that other people like. Now I think it's pretty obvious why agent bans shouldn't be a thing. Of course, in League of Legends there are champion bans where you can ban the enemy champion. Like if you really don't want to play against a Yasuo, for example, you can ban Yasuo and the enemy team can't pick Yasuo. However, that works because there are so many League champions. League is a lot more about roles, like I'm a top lane, I'm a bottom lane, I'm a jungler, stuff like that, than it is about the specific agent. Of course, there are agent mains, but usually that agent main is pretty comfortable with a role and that all works out. However, in Valorant, with only like 20-ish agents, of course it'll keep going up, it would cause a problem because what if somebody's a Brim main and you ban Brim on Bind? Then of course that's just going to be terrible for them because they don't know how to play any other agent. There's people who seriously only play one agent, and agents in this game are different enough to where maybe the general play style of a role is similar, but specific agents require a lot of specialization, as I'm sure they do in League of Legends, but I just feel like people are a lot more comfortable with their general role in League of Legends because of how much knowledge and preparation that game takes compared to Valorant, where you don't need to be as prepared for other agents or certain matchups, at least when you're not Radiant. And the other thing is, what I kind of just hinted at was if you ban Brim on Bind, what if you just ban every meta agent once you find out what map you're on? When you get Bind, you're immediately banning Brim. When you get a map that you know Op is really good on, you're probably going to be banning Jet or Chamber, right? Like it's pretty obvious of that. And even if they did have you ban agents prior to the map being revealed, it would still cause a pretty big problem just because there's so few agents that you're probably just going to end up banning really popular ones that people like to insta-lock, like Reyna or Jet, just because those agents are meta. They're high pick rate. You know that by banning Reyna or Jet, you're going to be screwing somebody on the other team who's likely a Jet main or likely a Reyna main and doesn't know how to play Sova or whatever. Whereas in a game like League, they probably know how to play the other agents of their role pretty well because there's so many. This is just something I wanted to discuss. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click here to learn about aim assist and why it's actually a really interesting discussion that it's multiple paths, some of which are good, some of which are bad. Click it, go listen to me talk about stuff, leave your don't put your information in the comments. Leave your inputs and opinion in the comments, not your information. I don't need that yet.